Hey everybody, welcome to a match from Squiddite. This time we are seeing an MT-25 be played. This is, I think, the first time I've actually uploaded any video of the MT-25. It is, of course, a replacement for the old 50-2, which got taken out of the game quite a while ago. And it's one of the less popular lights in the game. Straight off the bat, Squiddite heads to the right side. Normally, I wouldn't say this is a good place to go, but he actually makes it work quite well. And of course, if you're in a light tank, you can get away with things that a medium or heavy cannot. If you're in a medium, don't come down here, but if you're in a light, particularly a fast one, you can usually get away with it. Straight away, he's able to spot a good chunk of the enemy team, although I think most of that was coming off the 1390. And the enemy are just happy to sit there and get beat up on, apparently. Curiously, the T-37 doesn't actually spot him. It must be running the wrong equipment or a very bad crew, or perhaps some combination of both. But he should have been inside its spotting range well and truly. And the MT-25 might have decent camo and he might have a camo net, but still, I would have honestly thought that guy would spot him. Eventually, the temptation to take a shot is just too much, and he manages to put one into the T-25-2 before being spotted by the T-37. Now, the MT-25 is quite mobile, but it's not quite the rocket sled that the 50-2 used to be. So he just hugs the terrain for a while to try and avoid getting hit. And then makes an escape. What's actually surprising is that his team still hasn't made it to the top of the hill. They are mostly heavies, but I mean, it's 2.5 minutes into the game. Normally somebody would have reached a hilltop by now. Also interesting is the T-95 pushing directly across the middle of the field. And directly to the front we have some potential targets. Cheery is an easy target for the MT-25, as is the Tiger. Squiddite gets 3 shots into the Cheery before backing off to avoid getting hit by a return fire. Most of the enemy team are capable of taking him out in one shot at this point. Cheery and Tiger actually pull back. They're now behind bushes, so they won't be able to spot Squiddite if he fires. Which is exactly what he does, and just takes the Cheery apart. Tiger is next. And that's why you aim underneath the turret on the side of the Tiger. Most German tanks have ammo racks in that location, so aiming beneath the turret ring with a fast-firing, accurate gun is likely to give you an ammo rack kill. Looking for more damage, Squiddite then gets some shots into the sides of the IS-6. although it's a much more difficult target to deal with. As is the E-75, who just decided to parachute off a cliff. Things are looking kind of ropey for his team at the moment, but so far Squiddite is having an absolute monster of a game with 2248 damage in a tier 6 light in a tier 9 match. I think anyone would be happy with that. Interestingly enough, Squiddite actually does get some penning shots into the E-75's turret. Now, the sides of the E-75's turret are so thick that actually a large number of tier 7 and 8 mediums will bounce off of them. So I'm surprised that the MT-25, even firing gold, can actually get 2 shots in a row through the side of its turret while it's turning. Things are still looking okay at the moment. Squiddite's team has established control of the northeast end of the map, effectively the whole northern end of the map, because the only thing there is the Type 59. But it looks like the base is about full, with only a T-25-2 defending it, and a train of enemy tanks potentially heading that way. Squiddite hesitates for a moment. Looks like he wants to get some shots on the Type 59 here. But it's masked by terrain. He goes for some shots in the M46. Gets a couple through. And then goes for the Löwe. Now, the Löwe's side armor was buffed recently, and it's actually much harder to pen now. So rather than sit around dumping shells into something that he can't pen, Squiddite looks for a new angle. Unfortunately, it looks like the T-25-2 is getting dumped. So Squiddite lends a hand. And is actually able to do quite a bit of damage to that Tiger before it gets unspotted. It's starting to look a lot closer now, with 3 heavies left on Squiddite's team, and 2 heavies and 2 mediums left on the enemy team, although King Tiger is getting pretty low on health. Squiddite's teammates are both very low on health, and pushing on tanks that could pretty easily clean them up. Squiddite heads back to try and get some eyes on the cap, which the enemy, of course, gets straight onto. Unfortunately, the thickness of the foliage here is making it difficult for him to actually see the Tiger, which is in cap. So he has to get very close to try and get most of the worst of the trees out of his face. Still no sign of it. The IS-6 calls for help. I'm not sure what he thinks is going to come rescue him. Squiddite's getting dangerously close to the cap now, but he has little other choice. He backs off behind the bush to try and make sure he isn't spotted upon firing, and is actually team killed by the IS on his team. which of course loses them the game because the tiger's able to cap out. Welcome to World of Tanks. So that ended up being a pretty huge game for Squiddite, which would have been a win, most likely, had it not been for the actions at IS. That's actually really surprising that happened. You don't see deliberate team kills very often, comparatively speaking. Much less people doing that to light tanks. I don't know what was going through his head. Usually they at least have the decency to say something so you can tell what kind of retarded reasoning they're using. But I'm guessing he thought that Squiddite should have been just charging in and suiciding into the tiger, or something like that. Obviously this IS is not accustomed to winning games, and he doesn't want to win games. Either way, I hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry about the background noise. I've got a couple more replays to record from other people, and then a few more on my own, and then I'll see if I can get some of the World of Warships games up. I'm not sure if replays are properly implemented yet. I know it saves replays, but I just haven't been able to watch any, but I'll try again later and see how it goes. Anyway, that said, I wish you the best luck in the field, and I'll catch you on the next one.